Could it 100x? Could it be $5 million a coin? What would be the best case argument as it could be?
Right now, some forward thinking or innovative investors might be okay to put a couple million or maybe even more into Bitcoin, like 10 million or 100 million, and they would be perfectly okay to put 10 million in gold or 100 million in real estate, and I guess that will change in the next 10 years because Bitcoin will be more accepted, more by countries, and more legally, regulatorily secure.
Yeah,
and the scarcity will grow, right? So Bitcoin is now a little bit less, about as scarce as gold, and investors have to get used to that. But of course, Bitcoin is much more portable than gold. You can take $1 billion in Bitcoin in your on a USB stick, or even with some words in your head. Whereas $1 billion in gold, of course, is not possible to move that in your car. And the same is true for real estate. So you can not move real estate, and real estate is high maintenance. So I guess in a way, Bitcoin is the perfect store of value once it has the legal clarity and the regulatory clarity that it deserves, and maybe also loses its exotic and innovative aura and becomes a more conservative and conventional asset, which takes time and is an age thing, like we talked about before. So yeah, I guess Bitcoin will continue to compete with other stores of value, like gold and real estate in particular. And gold is 10 trillion, and real estate is $100 trillion market. I really do think that in the next 10 years, Bitcoin continues its historical path, its 12-year path towards the market caps of gold and real estate.
What would cause you to change your mind?
Yes, Bitcoin is not unfailable. It's not like, so it can fail, and of course, and as long as the risk return, and that's also the reason why I don't rebalance or rotate out of the asset into some other asset, because the question then is, what asset has a better risk return profile? So the risk return profile of Bitcoin is exceptionally well, and I guess better than any other asset I see right now, and I have ever seen, because the Sharpe ratio of Bitcoin is larger than 1. The average yearly return is higher than 150%, 160, 180, somewhere about that. And the volatility, historically measured in standard deviation of returns, or looking at option prices, implied volatility, the risk is about 80%. So we have 150% return versus 80% volatility or risk, which is a Sharpe ratio of larger than 1. And there are not so many assets that have a Sharpe ratio larger than 1. So that is one very specific thing I look at. And that gives me a hard time looking for other alternative investments that, well, I could rotate into when Bitcoin goes up above my mandate or above my personal levels. So yeah, when that risk increases even more, which is maybe not that possible, or the return comes down, because the risk will be high, is high, and will probably be high, but the return could go down. For example, this year, if we look at this year, it's only 66%. And if I say that, I almost have to laugh.
To chuckle.
Yeah. 66 is not bad, but with 80% volatility, that makes a Sharpe ratio of lower than 1. If you would have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 years of lower risk return or risk adjusted returns, that would give some thoughts, and that would probably make other assets more attractive. So there's lots of reasons why that could happen. But up till today, I don't, even with the current drop in price, I don't see another asset with a risk return profile as good as Bitcoin.
How do you look at competitors that are here are upcoming and how it may play out over a 10-year period?
Yeah, the competitors that I looked at, the things I see is that they compete in other areas. So in NFTs, indeed, or other use cases than the monetary store of value use case. Because in my view, Bitcoin is optimized for this use case of store of value. It's secure, it's scarce, it's decentralized, it's untouchable, and no other coin comes even close. Because they all have a data center or a founder that's still alive, a pre-mine, and no proof of work, proof of stake. That might all be okay for other use cases, but not for the store of value, the 10 trillion and $100 trillion store of value markets that we are anticipating.
Do you think that probably maybe late next year, early the year after, that we may enter into a Bitcoin winter?
Yeah, first of all, I'm one of the few that indeed thinks that there will be a next bear market, a crash, like we've seen a couple times before. Because there's a lot of people right now saying that we're done with the 4-year cycle and we will not have that kind of volatility and that kind of deep bear markets anymore. I think we will have those bear markets. You can see it in the option prices. It's priced in at 100% volatility. You can see it, a couple of months ago when the China banned it, the mining, we went down 50% or more. So we almost had it. we had a crash of 50% right there. So that tells me that 80% when something really big happens is not out of the question yet. So yeah, I think we will have to go up quite a bit, at least to make the stock to flow model values of 100,000 and 288,000. But after that, we'll go down 80% again. I'm not looking forward to that, to be honest. Nobody probably is, but I guess that's part of the deal, and it's also part of the greed and fear that's in investors, and that people won't change. There will be FOMO if we, for example, hit the 100,000 level a couple of months from now, or maybe this month, according to the stock to flow model. People will FOMO in, and it will go up. And then after that, something horrible happens, another ban, another China ban or India ban or something, and everybody's scared again, and the fear sets in. So I guess that fear and greed is never going away in Bitcoin.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. The fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.